Hello, my name is Luke Dercher, Navy veteran, NASA engineer. My own personal interest in UFOs has caused me to create this channel, UFO in the Know. Here I want to talk openly, without judgment, without fear of stigma.
Let's break the stigma
About all things related UFO. If you have something you'd like to talk about, please let me know. Please contact me. Please say something in the comments. In this channel, I want to dive into what I call the UFO lore. So if you study this subject for any amount of time, you'll start to learn that a lot of people in the UFO community, authorities on this topic, talk about what I call UFO lore, or mankind's involvement with UFOs in the past. Starting with that, we have our ancient aliens people that talk about, did aliens build the pyramids? Did aliens create us through some kind of genetic experiment sometime long ago? Did aliens crash at Roswell? Did the U.S. get them? Was there a secret group called Majestic 12 that was formed to control this information and keep the public in the dark about what's really going on with the UFOs? We'll talk about our modern UFO reports we're getting now. We in 2017 we got the U.S. Navy admitting that these videos they took of UFOs were real. They sent fighter pilots to chase UFOs. Since then, they've created a new reporting method to report UFO incidents, and they want to, I think, encourage service members to report UFO incidents. We'll talk about our D&I report, Director of National Intelligence. I'll cover that today. We have a prelim report over UAP. We're still waiting on the next report. Congress has allegedly seen it. We're still waiting. Hopefully it's got something exciting. It could have something totally, some natural explanation, some kind of bogus explanation for it. We don't know. We'll see. I have a personal experience that sparked my interest in UFOs. I'll talk about it. So when I was a young kid, maybe third, fourth grade, I saw my dad watching a show about UFOs, aliens on TV. I saw it, froze in my tracks. I was scared the lights out of me. Now, later on, I start to get really bad insomnia. I'm not sleeping well in second, third, fourth grade. I'm constantly scared something is coming in my room. One night, I wake up, I look over, and I see what I think is a little man with a big head. Now, I get up, I turn around, I have a TV right by my bed. It's an old tube TV. I press it, it goes, lights up slowly. I look over, nothing there. Now, could that have been my imagination? Of course. I was a third grade kid with an active imagination. May have been nothing. But either way, I was scared. Now, when I was a teenager, I'm sitting in my bedroom. I have a bedroom in the basement of my dad's house. It has a window up on the ceiling, right? Up high, just a little window on the wall. I'm sitting there watching TV, minding my own business. I see a light flood the entire room, a bright white light. Now this is my entire basement gets filled with light. It's huge. I'm like, what could this possibly be? I get up, I look out the window, there's nothing out there, just a field. Nobody's out there, there's no cars. Get up, I run upstairs, I look outside. Again, nothing. Now, was that a UFO? Was that aliens? I can't say for sure. I don't know. Maybe somebody was playing a prank on me and shining a giant spotlight in my window. Possibly. I don't know. It did spark my interest. I don't know what it is. I would like to learn more. I'd like to get some explanation. But before I dive down the conspiracy theory tinfoil hat rabbit hole and take you all with me, I want to address conspiracy theories in general in 2020 became dangerous. People were scared, understandably, and wanted answers, so they turned to these conspiracy theories, and then eventually they started to act on these conspiracy theories in violent ways. Those are bad. I believe that those conspiracy theories that we received during the pandemic were only there to sort of muddy the waters, let's say, of in this pool of possible conspiracy theories we're looking into. Which one is real? We can't tell. There's so many. I want to talk to you about a man named Richard Doty. Richard Doty was an Air Force intelligence officer, and his story is that his job was to release disinformation about the UFO topic to the UFO community. He infiltrated the UFO community and disseminated fake information to hide the truth. Now, I'm not saying for sure that's what the 2020 QAnon type conspiracy theories were, but that's just my gut feeling. Okay, first off, first piece of evidence to support the UFO lore that I want to look at. The Director of National Intelligence prelim UAP report, Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon report. So let's talk about what piece of UFO lore does this support. Lizard men, moon bases? No, this is just saying there are UFOs and we don't know what they are. And they say a couple more interesting things about it that I'll talk about. So first off, first interesting thing, right away, they identify these things as a threat. They're a threat. First off, foremost, first paragraph. So how do they know that? What type of threat are they to us? How threatening are they? I mean, if they can zip around and zoom around at extreme speeds and outmaneuver our spacecraft, you know, if they're a threat at all, that's extremely scary because it sounds like they could just destroy us. I don't know. We'll see. Second thing I found interesting, they say various forms of sensors that register UAP generally operate correctly and capture enough real data to allow initial assessments. What are these various forms of sensors? Are there sensors that civilians can acquire to maybe look for UAP, UFOs on their own? That'd be really interesting to know and find out. Okay, moving on. Something really interesting I found in this report. Most of the UAP reported probably do represent physical objects. They're not a light illusion. They're not a hallucination. They're something physical that is out there that our military pilots are witnessing. Second page, they identify that. Now, another interesting thing, they point out there are multiple types of UAP, requiring different explanations based on the range of appearances and behaviors described in the available reporting. Now, as I've been studying this, there's been a few common UAP or UFO that are cited. I'll talk about. We have our classic silver flying saucer. Everybody knows that one. We also have glowing orange balls that are seen frequently in UFO sightings or described. Another common UFO is our black triangle with lights on the sides of it. Also similar to our Phoenix light sighting in 1997, which was allegedly reported first by Kurt Russell, the famous actor. This black triangle with lights on it has been seen multiple times. Tons of pictures of it out there. We'll talk about it. Another thing interesting. So they have several possible explanations that they came up with. Airborne clutter, natural atmospheric phenomenon, U.S. government or U.S. industry developmental programs. I'll talk more about what that means and or what I think it means, or foreign adversary systems. If a foreign adversary has UFOs that can fly at extreme speeds and maneuver around us, that is indeed a scary thought. And also a catch-all other bin, which leaves the possibility it could be aliens. They're leaving that possibility open in this report. They're not excluding that possibility from this, which I think is important and a big thing for the government, because I don't think they've ever officially done that. Maybe they did. They say a lot in this report. More sophisticated analysis of UAP is required to deepen our understanding. Mention that a lot. More data is needed, and hopefully we'll see in this follow-up report what they found out when they collected that data. Another really interesting tidbit from this report: most reports describe UAP as objects that interrupted pre-planned training or other military activity. So these UAP, and it says a significant amount of them, are interrupting military training or military activity. So they seem to be concentrated around military sites. They mention in this report. What are they doing? That's very curious. Are there UFOs monitoring our U.S. military? We don't know. Another interesting case that we'll talk about later. We do have the case of the UFO that disabled a U.S. nuclear bomb at Vandenberg Air Base. So is that what they're talking about in this report, or how do they mean interfered with military activity? What does that mean? They likely won't tell us. They mention there's some challenges to collecting data about UAP. Here, the social cultural stigmas related to discussing UAP is a challenge.
Let's break the stigma.
To studying this. Most people don't like to hear that you're talking about it. Most people will think you're kind of ridiculous, I think. If you take this topic seriously, people may not take you seriously. And that's the challenge. So we want to break the stigma.
Break the stigma.
One of my favorite things from this report, and I think most interesting, a handful, now this is word for word from the report, a handful of UAP appear to demonstrate advanced technologies. How cool is that? So the U.S. military says or the U.S. government says they've observed something that appears to demonstrate advanced technologies. The UAP appeared to remain stationary in winds aloft, move against the wind, maneuver abruptly, or move at considerable speed without discernible means of propulsion. Another interesting thing, in a small number of cases, military aircraft systems processed radio frequency energy associated with UAP sightings. So what does that radio frequency energy look like? Is that something that a civilian like me could listen to for and listen out for UAPs or UFOs? I'd like to know. Again, here they have several of their explanations. One being airborne clutter, plastic bags flying around in the air is a possible cause for UFO sightings. That's what this report says. That's what the Director of National Intelligence is telling us. Could be a natural atmospheric phenomenon. Ice crystals, moisture, and thermal fluctuations may fool their infrared or radar systems to think the operator is seeing a UFO. Okay. Another interesting thing I found from this report: U.S. government or industry developmental programs is one possible explanation for these UAP sightings. Some UAP observations could be attributable to developments in classified programs by U.S. entities. We are unable to confirm, however, that these systems accounted for any of the UAPs we collected. So they are leaving the possibility that these are classified vehicles developed by the U.S. government somewhere, although they don't know about it. Interesting. Foreign adversary systems. Some UAP may be technologies deployed by China, Russia, or another agency or another non-governmental agency. That would be pretty scary if another one of our enemy nations has a UFO. Stop. You stop. Be quiet. Just leave him alone. Interesting tidbit from the report. Ongoing airspace concerns related to these UAP. The UAP task force has 11 reports of documented instances which pilots reported near misses with UAP. So they are a safety concern at the very least. Just being up in our airspace, hanging around where our airplanes are flying around, causes a safety hazard. Again, the report says a lot more data is needed, more study is needed. So hopefully we'll see that data, that's result of their study in their follow-up report, which hopefully is coming out soon. That's all I have for today, folks. If you have something related to UFOs, the UFO lore, UFO evidence, you just want to talk about UFOs, please come on the show, comment, let's talk, let's get the conversation going. Let's
break the stigma.